And we are back live with the Blame Girl podcast
Mr. Terry Wayne.
and we got Ben Fishman in the house. Welcome, Ben.
Hey, thanks for having me on. How you doing?
Thanks for being on. Thanks for
Appreciate
being on. I'm doing good. How was your weekend?
Oh, it's great. Great.
Yeah.
Had a good time. Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend?
Well, nothing really exciting, but in my regular life, I manage a mattress store. I actually just got this promotion in this new store, and we're on fire.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm actually super excited to talk to you about that. I have so many
Okay.
questions.
Minda?
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I know it seems like I'm being facetious. I'm not. I have a ton of questions.
Listen, our last guest last week, Minda, got a mattress from Ben.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
And-
network in the comedy community, folks. Okay,
Of course
so
we do.
how was your weekend, Ben?
oh, it's great.
Everybody got their same medical marijuana card from the same woman.
Oh, Paige.
Yeah.
And say even he knows right off the bat. Yes.
Still haven't had on here because she missed it. But anyway, go ahead. How was your weekend?
It was great. We did a ton of sales. It was really good. The store just opened about a month ago, and we're already leading the Broward district. So it's a great thing. And I've actually got customers coming to shows. They want to come to my next show already. So that's kind of a cool thing. I promote my comedy
Yeah.
in that. So
I'm
Well,
sure
let's
sales is
just-
great for promoting anything that
Oh.
you're doing, like with entertainment. What?
not only that, I could test
Let's just-
material.
Yeah.
Let's hit on it while the iron's hot. Let's strike. Is every mattress store secretly funneling money for illegal activity?
No.
I swear that it is, because you see all these places. You see Mattress King, Mattress Giant, all these places. And how many people are buying mattresses? You know,
Well,
like
let me ask you
it's
this.
Ben, what type of sales are doing good in your store?
Oh,
Is
well,
it mattresses?
I'll start by telling you this. It's a great business because everybody sleeps. There's not one person in here that doesn't sleep.
yeah, but I buy a mattress once every 10 years. Like it can't. Your turnover's got to be
There's gotta
atrocious.
be a constant
It-
row
Yeah.
of people that need mattresses.
Yeah.
There.
Well, luckily in South Florida, we got a lot of people that have rentals, Airbnbs, they have investment properties, or they might be a second home. So, they've got, they need places, or, not only that, with Florida having like the storms and the bugs and stuff, people's mattresses get messed up down here, so
Yeah.
I've seen.
I don't mean any offense by it, by the way. It's just that years ago, I remember me and my former partner, whatever, Jackie Sanchez, we had this whole scenario in our head because there was two mattress stores across the street from each other, and they were both doing fine. Like they were both selling and making money. And we had this whole scenario that's where the mob sends its money to get, funneled.
Mm.
Well, if it's my company,
Yeah.
is Jewish mafia.
There is one. It does exist. So
All right, Terry, how was your weekend?
I had a very big weekend. And just so everyone knows, we found out the gender of our first child last night, and we did a little thing, just close family. That's it. A little family dinner at the Cracker Barrel. Since I joined their team recently, might as well have some synergy. So we did there. My sister got to find out first, and then give us. She ended up buying a onesie from there that told us what it was, and it's a boy. It's gonna be a boy.
Hey, congratulations.
You
Yes.
gotta name it
My
Terry.
first child is a masculine child, just like the Godfather,
Gotta
So-
name it Terry.
No, absolutely not naming it Terry. 1000%.
Terry the
There
third.
will be
Terry. He's Terry Jr.
there will be no Terry Wayne Bomar the third. It's not gonna happen. You can put it out of your mind.
I
My
think that's
father had a hard
mistake.
I'm just saying, my father had a hard time in high school. I had a hard time in high school. My son will not have a hard time in high school.
I think that was a mistake, Terry. Or it's not
Maybe.
yet. It's a mistake not to. I think you gotta go
Maybe.
Terry.
Maybe you can call it a mistake if you want. I'm not gonna put a stumbling block on my kid right out of the gate. A Terry is not a masculine name for a boy to have. It's just not.
So you just said, like, who are you? You just, like
I'm
Hank.
Terry.
like-
I'm Terry. Hi, everybody. I'm
Terrence,
Terry.
no Terrence, you can,
No, Terrence. It's not Terrence. No, on my birth certificate, it is Terry Wayne Bomar the
oh,
second.
it's actually
That's
Terry.
Well,
Oh,
name your kid.
it's just Terry. Yep.
you got Giovanni. What?
Name your kid Terry. That would be all right.
No, no,
Parents.
I'm not doing.
Parents.
Not doing it.
Parents
No.
is masculine. See,
No, I
and that doesn't
when
even
I
matter
was
in today's age. Like if you have identifying as a male child whose name
Mhm.
is Terry in today's schools, he's not going to get bullied.
There's Terry.
when I was first of all, yes, he is because that's overly hyped progressive thinking. There's still bullying still goes on.
Y'all are in
Still
Tennessee.
goes on. Yes.
Y'all in Tennessee.
But no, I picked out a name when I was 14 years old. And I've kept it for almost 30 years. And I'm not going to tell you what it is.
It's a
I'm not going
grudge
to tell you what it is.
because he got picked
Me
up.
and Miranda and I both decided that that the naming part is going to be our just for us.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people involved with her parents and my father and my sister and everybody. Everybody wants to be a part, and that's great. But something needs to be just for us, and that's what we came to. Was the name is just for us. You will find out on mid-October. October 21st is the official due date, but you'll find out sometime around then what our son will be named.
Cool. Exciting. What an exciting
I'm
week.
excited. I'm very excited. So
All right. My weekend was pretty.
boring compared to mine. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess it was. I didn't really do much this weekend except fun. Did a lot. Friday,
My whole life changed. So there you go.
I hit a happy hour with Minda, who was on the show last week, and Dan
Mhm.
Long, who's been on the show, and Brian Drolet, our good friend Brian Drolet. And
Oh, I
then,
was just talking to him
oh yeah,
online. Yeah, catching up.
we got the real comedians. Well, I'll talk about that later. But anyway, I hung out with them on Friday. We had like a fun time. Like we went to happy hour, we went to the arcade, and then we went to catch the movie Civil War.
Oh my God, I heard this is amazing. Don't say anything. Don't spoil it.
That was not the consensus at when we went. Brian Coronado loved it.
Yeah.
Where's there an arcade?
And
Well,
Delray,
if Brian, if in Delray, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like a
Yeah.
video game arcade. I was like,
No.
and then
No, if Coronado liked it, I'll probably like it. We have very similar tastes in
I
movies.
tell you this about it. I appreciate the innovation because it wasn't, you didn't go in getting what you probably were expecting to get, you know?
No, from what I've heard you when you watch a trailer, you think it's just going to be an anti-Trump thing, but then when you go into it, it's not a anti-Trump thing. It's just
I didn't even watch the trailer. I just, the way that Dan and Minda explained it to me, it was like, it's the Civil War. And I was like, nah, I don't go sit. And then
no, it's like a
and then
modern.
wait. And then they go,
You.
if it were today. And I was like, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting
And
concept.
I was expecting to get more of a leave the world behind type of vibe, and it's not. So
Well, maybe you
Nice,
can confirm or deny what I heard. The best one that I heard that everybody said, yes, that's what it is. It's like The Walking Dead with no zombies.
Well, like the one
You
scene
know,
I saw.
It's just politics and no zombies. And
there's a
like
lot
The
of
Walking Dead.
there's a lot of shooting.
No, so it's like I saw like some people walk like the scene I saw, they like walk into like a group of like I don't know, guerrilla war people or something. They're like, oh no, we're American.
Militia.
And then he's militia. He's like, we're American. He's like, oh, what kind of Americans?
Yeah, I know that scene. That's a powerful scene. And I've heard because that actor, the guy that you're talking about, the one from Breaking Bad, the one that like that
Bryan
Breaking Bad
Cranston?
character. No. The blonde guy.
Yeah.
The one who says the line that you just said. He was
That was
also in
on
the
Breaking
last
Bad?
season. Yeah, he was in the last season. He was the one that killed the kid and did all that stuff.
That was
Anyway.
that was the weird like German or like the biker kid, right? Like he was the kid.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the white militia guy who was like, yeah. Anyway, I heard that it's basically a cameo. He's only in a couple of scenes, but he kind of steals the show with his performance. That's what I heard.
No.
No, you don't
No.
think so? Okay. Well, everybody's entitled to be wrong.
Okay. So, and then the rest of my weekend, yesterday, what did we do? I went and just caught some comedy. I went and caught Jackie Sanchez, at the
Mm,
library. And then, tonight I'm on a show at the Red Light. So,
well, that's
um,
fine. Tell her I said hi.
okay. Anyway, are y'all ready to do some blaming? I bet you if I tell her hi, she will be
Yes.
ready to do some blaming. But
Blame.
are y'all ready to do some blaming?
Let's
All right.
blame before we get blamed.
For some reason, Arizona has revived a law from the 19th century. And for those of you that are not smart, that's the 1800s.
1864.
To be specific, they've revived an abortion ban from 1864. Who's to blame? Why would they be going back in time to revive laws from slavery era, civil rights,
Ben, would you like to go first or second?
Yeah, you
civil war?
can start this one off.
Okay, I'll start this one off. It's fine. I'll tell you who's to blame. It's pretty easy who's to blame. Sycophants are to blame because sycophants are the ones that Donald Trump likes to have around him that just suck up to him and constantly, and because they suck up to him, because they validate his existence, he turns around and wants to do whatever they wanted him to do. He has no First of all, Donald Trump was famously pro-choice for a long time, just like he was famously a Democrat for a long time. But he found out which side of the bread his butter was on, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, we got to do away with." And so he appointed these very young, in their 40s, very conservative judges to the Supreme Court, knowing what was going to happen. And you can go back and you can watch the news clip. He owns it. He says, "I'm the reason why Roe versus Wade got overturned." So 50 years of precedent in this country went out the window for a small niche group of severe pro-lifers. 81% of America believes in a woman's right to choose on some level or another, even if it's just in cases of incest or rape or to protect the life of the mother. More than 80% of the people believe in that. Nobody gets those numbers. Nobody gets those numbers.
In the Civil War era, when this
Yes,
law was enacted,
exactly. Nobody gets those numbers.
But
you could pass a law to give free puppies to, homeless babies, and it wouldn't get 81% of the vote. You know what I mean? So this is a big deal. But because they did it, and Carrie Lake, who was a candidate for governor in 2020, who tried to run and get elected, she lost, thankfully, but she supported it as well. She said, "We already have laws in place that will be enacted as soon as Roe v. Wade gets overturned." And that's exactly what they did. And Arizona isn't a Republican state. It's more of a swing state. It's a purple state. Sometimes it goes blue, sometimes it goes red. So the fact that they are the ones that implemented the harshest anti-abortion law in the entire country. Kansas shot down abortion laws. Kansas, the whitest of the white, Kansas shot down their abortion laws.
Because I know it's a small sect of the country's population, but they want more white babies, y'all. They want more white babies. White people,
only white babies, if at all possible.
If y'all were having more white babies, we wouldn't all be punished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You notice there's
first of all,
there's no pro-life. I'm just saying there's no pro-life billboards in the ghetto. Okay, just putting that out there.
So first of all, if we go back 260 years, that's 1764.
No, 164. 164 years.
Oh, I see 260.
He wrote that wrong.
Oh, okay. I must have made a mistake.
Before we were even a nation.
No, it's 164 years before Arizona was a state. It was a territory when this law was written. Yeah.
So, I mean, well, first of all, who knew about this law? Because if it was that old,
Carrie Lake.
who was, oh, okay, so she was digging deep for this one.
Mhm.
Alright.
Who was picking D?
Lane, Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake,
She was
the
So,
And
I
that's
mean,
why
the
she's
blame
all
probably
like,
starts there. I mean, if you follow the paper trail, she was probably looking for some old,
that's right.
old things to bring up. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was, I mean, they obviously were looking for something. If they knew about that from back then.
I think
Fuck Carrie
probably,
Lake and everyone who looks like her. Oh, I hope she dies today.
I think they were probably doing that, like you said, when Roe v. Wade gets overturned. They knew they were going to be able to do this. So,
And they've done it all over the country.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. All right.
And they're going to lose this election cycle because of it. And they deserve to lose.
And speaking of losing election cycles, I hope this guy that we're going to talk about next loses his election cycle. Yo, Trump has made history in a bad way. Okay. He's got all these first criminal things, but he's going to be the first president that goes to a criminal trial that starts tomorrow, right, Terry?
It does. It starts tomorrow.
Who's to blame?
Stormy
Like, how
Daniels.
did he get to the point? How did America get to the point to where we're going to let him be tried? Why is this happening? It's never happened.
It's not the fact that he's getting tried. It's not the fact that he's getting tried. I mean, everyone's accountable under the law. That's what we teach our children. That's what we should teach ourselves. Everyone's accountable under the law. It's not the fact that he's getting tried or that he's the first president that's going to get tried. I think it's great that he's getting tried because it proves to everyone the law is the law, whether you're the president or whether you're a homeless guy on the corner. It doesn't matter. The law is the law. That's it. The problem I have with it is that there are so many of his supporters that don't want to see him have to face the music for his actions. Because that, to me, is the real poison in America. It's that the law is the law for everybody else except for this demigod that we worship, and he's above everything. He shouldn't have to face this. Fuck that and fuck them.
Well, why do you think
Sorry.
he's not above the law this time, Ben?
Well, I mean, we're all subject to the law. We're all, we all, it doesn't matter. It doesn't say accept this person, accept that person. I mean, you're in law, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we all have to go, through the same process. So we all have to go through a trial, and that's you have to get judged by the peer, or what do they call it? Tried by yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, no, you don't get a pass. There's no get out of jail free card. You know what I mean? There's none. That just doesn't happen. Especially when you're.
But it has happened for him. He's been able to dodge the law a lot, and it's not even the first time it's happened with the president, because sometimes they just resign. But
they don't call him Teflon Don for nothing. Nothing sticks to this guy.
This case is the hush money case where he tried to pay Stormy Daniels not to tell everyone that they hooked up.
It's not about that. It's embezzlement. He embezzled money out of his corporate campaign fund to pay off a porn star. The porn star is the salacious part that he embezzled money.
You think he would, if it wasn't for the embezzlement, if he had paid her with Trump Tower money?
I was gonna say, were they his funds though? Like, was he funding his
No,
own?
of course he doesn't spend his money on anything. This dude doesn't pay anybody for anything that he owes.
But did he put it? But whose name did he put it in then?
Cohen, what's his name? Robert Cohen, the one who went to prison for this very thing. He went to prison for 2 years because he was the hand, but the mind that made the hand do the thing was Donald Trump.
I don't even think we'd be this far without Michael Cohen, though. Like, if Michael
Cohen, yes, thank you.
If Michael Cohen didn't wake up and start speaking out against him,
turn state's witness, you mean?
Exactly, turn state's witness. I don't know that they would have had gotten this far to trial. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely would not. You're absolutely 100% correct.
So we might be able to blame Michael Cohen for helping Trump make history in a bad way again.
I'm glad. I hope he makes history again. I hope he dies today. That's what I want for him.
Well, there's another history maker that set a new record this week.
Mm-hmm.
The GOAT, Tiger Woods is still out here setting new Masters records. Y'all, who's
He
the
is.
blame? How is it possible at 48 that this man is still on top?
Dude, but look
Because
at,
he's the GOAT. He's the
dude,
GOAT.
but look at who's the guy that just retired from football? Freaking Wayne or T Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah. Yeah.
That guy's in his 40s.
Yeah.
LeBron's been playing for like 20 years. Like sometimes I feel like if you stick with it and you keep, like you get better with your age, like you keep
Yeah.
perfecting something. Because like some of these guys are in it for the money. They go in, they make a quick buck, and then some people unfortunately get injured, But I feel
Yeah.
like the people that really
Well,
into their game,
It's the wear and tear of the sport on your body gets
Tom.
there, right? But sometimes
Okay. Well,
like,
Tom Brady needed that. He needed that last year with the Buccaneers because he needed to pay for the divorce against Bunchen. Like that's just what that was. He needed the money.
yeah,
But yeah, I agree with you
unheard of,
wholeheartedly.
though. You would have never heard of people this age like playing sports like that, like at this level.
Yeah.
Like but it's like not only that. I
But
mean, look at the advances we have in like medicine and things like that. People are living a lot healthier now. So it's a huge.
Well, golf is a different game too. You can't compare it to LeBron and you can't compare it to Tom Brady. It's a non-contact sport. It's a different game. You can play golf at a high level all the way up into your 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s. I mean, look at Jack Nicklaus. This guy played all the way up into his 70s.
And they get hand injuries too.
And were they
Oh,
playing?
I understand, but I'm just saying he played at the highest level all the way into his 70s, still being a god among men.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because golf is one of those sports that I thought like to myself, because I played soccer, I played basketball, not professionally, of course, by any means.
We've
but-
played golf, you and I, before.
But I'm like, I could become a golf pro now. Like I can start and learn
Sure about
and
that?
be by the time I'm 50,
No.
golf pro, right?
No.
No.
In no way could you ever join any of the PGA
I'm
tours,
just saying it's a
women's or
sport you can
otherwise.
start later in life.
Yeah, but you're not gonna go.
Well, you can play it and you can have fun with it, but you can't master it. Like you have to start. Yeah, I mean, Tiger Woods started playing golf when he was 3 years old.
Challenge
You-
accepted.
He like, yeah. I mean, if you went pro, that'd be amazing though. I'd be your caddy.
I would be your caddy. I quit everything.
No,
to
I
be
already
your
called
caddy.
it, man.
I
It's-
still-
I already called it.
All right,
I
Ben.
still got
That
the
is fine.
clubs, boy. I still got the clubs. I don't know.
Fine,
I
I'll
might
be
have
your sub caddy.
to give me my first set of clubs. It's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice of you, man. Way to get him in the game.
Well, those weren't my club. Those were actually we just talked about Jackie's clubs. Those are Jackie's clubs. So,
And she didn't play, so
Uh,
and they
yeah,
were
so you get them.
so it wasn't like he bought
That's
me
right.
$1,000 set of clubs. It was like
No, it was like $100 set from Walmart.
oh, and you know what else is to blame? The Live, man, the Live tour. A
Oh,
lot of people
God.
you know what I mean? They
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah,
The
and
Saudis. It's the Saudi government.
I'm
What?
telling you, man.
Yes.
So
the
basically-
Live Tournament, LIV, the Live Tournament is a series, is another golf association that is challenging the PGA
Mhm.
to be the top golf association. And it's run and financed by the Saudi government. So a lot of people are against it, and it's
I've heard
very
this, yes.
yes, it's very contentious right now. And the PGA says that any player who goes and plays on the Live is not welcome back in the PGA. They're dead to us.
Well, I think on this topic, I think Tiger setting new Masters records that's just what Tiger would do. What would Tiger do? Set records.
Sets records. That's all he does.
That's right.
That's
Tiger's a Tiger.
what we expect of him. When he does not set records, we're gonna be like, man, Tiger fell off.
He set so many records he could sell.
Tiger set a record for all of golf. He set a record for being one of the top athletes in the world, one of the highest paid athletes in the world, and he set a record for most Denny's waitresses banged. So he's my personal hero.
If I meet Tiger Woods, I want the clout. I will definitely try to have sex with Tiger Woods. If I met
If he'll have me, I wouldn't even presume, but if he'll have me, he can have all my holes. It's fine.
you gotta all your holes.
Yeah.
You
All
put
my
a golf
holes.
ball in there. No, okay.
That's to do whatever you want, Tiger.
None of them have sex with me, but I maybe when I'm trying one of my mattresses and
You fumbling bags.
maybe
You're fumbling
maybe I
bags.
lay next, I'd be like, oh look, you won't feel me.
Ben, you need to put some respect on that name and give him your butthole. Okay.
Well,
Oh man, nah, I'm waiting for the right one.
that's what Iran is telling Israel right now. All right.
Oof.
Yeah. Did you like that segue? All right.
I did. That was juicy. That was a fat peach.
All right. Y'all, Iran has bombed Israel. Not just made new threats. They have sent drone bombs to Israel. I haven't really checked on the situation today,
Oh,
but
they shot them all out of the sky.
Israel did shoot them all out of the sky, and they are making threats and against the U.S. as well. Who's to blame here? And I want to start. All right.
Go for it.
Sorry,
Hit me.
Ben.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
sorry,
I know
Ben.
where this is going.
Israel.
Hit it.
Israel's playing.
Hit it hard, girl.
Who's the
Do it.
Jew?
They kept the temperature lit. They won't stop. Like they could have stopped a long time ago, and they flushed the Palestinians out. They're starving them. They're even shooting non-Palestinians that are there for humanitarian
Yes.
aid.
So
That's who's to
There's-
blame. And
Oh.
Ramadan is over.
they're sending people in a helicopter with some machine guns. I mean, come on.
I-
These guys, they were asking for it.
Hey, listen.
What did they expect?
And then nothing happens. Like it. I mean, you almost wish Iran had more air power, but actually,
I'm gonna
no, I think that the bombs landed because I know one of the last videos I saw, they were like, "This is Israel," and it was like
Oh, really?
kind
What
of
got there?
fiery.
They got most of them there, but
And
I
if
know
that-
they were like showing that.
If that happens, like, there's so many ancient relics we're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's the thing. That happened in Iraq actually. They
Egypt.
lost or Egypt. Yeah, they lost a whole ancient.
Yeah, during the Egyptian summer. Yeah.
Iraq
Yeah.
too. Iraq is Mesopotamia, right?
Well,
So-
yeah, but he's talking about Egypt when we lost all the Egyptian artifacts. That's what he's
It's
talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they
When did
just
we do
blew
that?
stuff up. They,
When
they-
did Egypt get bombed?
It didn't get blown up. They had a revolution. They overthrew Gaddafi, or not Gaddafi. They overthrew their president. Yeah, dragged him out of the palace, killed him, and then overthrew the government. This was like 2017, I
Gaddafi
think.
wasn't
Twen-
the Egyptian president. He was the president somewhere else.
No, I know I said it wrong. That's my bad. But no, they overthrew their government, killed the president, and it was known as the Egyptian Summer. It was the
Okay.
Egyptian.
I'm curious as to who do you blame here, Ben?
Oh, I mean, Palestine, man. That's. They started.
And what's your ethnic heritage there, Ben?
I'm Jewish, and I'm actually Prussian. Yeah, we came before.
Yeah,
Where's Prussia exactly?
it doesn't exist anymore.
I know. What region
Eastern
is it?
Europe, Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like we would have been maybe like around Lithuania.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you're born here in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I could tell, but I just want to put it out there that we gotta identify our own biases. I'm gonna say something on this, and it's not a popular opinion. It's not gonna be popular. It's gonna be somewhat inflammatory, but this thing between the Muslims and Jews has been going on for like 4,000 years. There's never gonna be an end until there's an end. So
It's only
the
like
fact
7 years old though.
the fact that Palestine attacked Israel and basically caused a 9/11 level event for Israel was all the excuse they
9/11
needed.
level
Joe-
event, Israel?
Yes, yes. If you scale down to their population, yes, it was like a 9/11 for them. That was their 9/11 was. Why do you think they keep using the date? October 21st. They keep using the date 10/21 because that was their 9/11.
You know what? Now that you
Um,
say that, they're doing exactly
And guess what?
we did.
Guess what?
We're doing exactly
When we had a 9/11, what did we do? We built the tallest building in the world to commiserate it, and then we started 2 wars with countries that really didn't have anything to do with 9/11, and we killed hundreds of thousands of people over 2 decades in the process. Palestine, and mainly Hamas, as the leadership in Palestine, they knew the gamble they were taking by doing that invasion and doing that attack. And now they're getting the negative consequences of their gamble. And the conflict between Palestine and Israel is never going to stop, because
Let me ask you this,
Palestine wants from the river to the sea, meaning Israel is wiped out completely, and Israel wants Gaza gone and wants the West Bank
That's
gone.
so wrong.
But what if
And
it
you
was-
know,
It is wrong, but it is the nature of humans. It's going to
it's
have
our
to
fault.
happen.
It's our fault.
Yeah.
It's the United States' fault for just taking over and creating states in someone else's.
Whoa.
That's
We didn't take over, okay? We took sides. We took Israel's side and we gave
the
them a bunch
UN,
of
who was
military
run by the
aid.
US, mainly created Israel. Stop it. We did it.
No, but like,
Ben, what were you
now go
doing?
the other route, but go the other route now.
Gaza's getting what they deserve, to be
Now,
honest.
Israel,
Worse, that's what the
Yeah,
white.
they are.
Israel could easily flatten Gaza, and they haven't. You know what I mean?
They
And,
have.
Well, they kinda are.
Until
They
now,
killed
until
80,000
now.
people right there.
Until now. But like, you know what I mean? They've been sending
But
rockets. for
instead, they
years,
were
it's
just like, move out, move
Right,
out.
they were
move
No,
just-
out.
no,
They were still fucking
Ben's
with
right.
us.
Ben's
They
right.
fucked
At
the
any
whole time.
Ben
You
is
can't-
right on this point. At any point in time, because of us, because of the US and England and their Western partners and allies, Israel could have wiped out Gaza long ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We could
But
have.
they didn't. But they didn't.
That would have been
Yeah.
really
So now.
fucking wrong. That would have just been.
And I'd be
It's
against
more
Israel
just
then. if that
fucking
was the case.
imperialistic bullshit, in my opinion. Because those
No,
people
the-
that were there before the UN created the state of Israel. And
The
ever since
aggressor,
they-
it doesn't matter.
ever
Israel
since
was
we
there
created
before
that
them.
state, it's constantly squeezed the Palestinians peoples out. They
You're
can't
wrong.
even call it Palestine anymore.
You're wrong.
The
You're
West Bank
flat
over
out
here
wrong.
and Gaza over here.
Israel was there thousands of years
If you
before the
go- but if you
Palestinians.
look at-
They
yeah,
got kicked out.
Israel's in the Bible.
But it wasn't there when we intervened, Terry. This
Yeah,
new-
you're right.
this
It
new
wasn't.
conflict
Basically,
is
we went
our
there and
fault.
we gave them their house back. They got their house taken away and we gave it back to them. But
But
Palestine was not there before.
Why did they get their
Israel
house taken away?
formed,
All right.
Why they
the
get their house?
Jews formed Israel, period.
How did they get their house taken away?
Through war.
Okay, that
Yeah.
the United States was involved in, or no?
No, this was
Okay.
no, this
That's
is like
my
1,500
fucking
years ago.
This new conflict, it's all us, and
No, it isn't.
whoever else
That's
supported the
nonsense.
West when the state
It's
was.
nonsense. You're saying
then-
nonsense. Right?
And then we have the war vehicles and weapons being sold from Iran to Ukraine.
Yeah, and Iran, which is the story we're supposed to be talking about, Iran, this is way bigger than Russia and Ukraine. And by the way, the aggressor is always the bad guy, whether it be Russia invading Ukraine or whether it be Gaza invading Israel. The aggressor
I'm
is
sorry, I
always
said
the
that
bad guy.
backwards. I said that backwards. Yeah.
Oh, you mean Ukraine selling them to Iran?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
but
we know they're
Iran's fucking around.
It's all.
Here's the important part to us. This is why I put the story in there. Iran's fucking around and they're about to find out, because they're not just pushing against Israel. They know they're pushing against us and they're making threats against us. You saw what we did to Afghanistan.
we
You
don't-
saw what we
we
did to
don't
Iraq. You're
negotiate.
gonna fuck around and find out.
You know what? What's sad is like I'm like, no, we're a new world, but it's the same motherfucking senators and congressmen up in there. So yeah, we'll go to war. Easy.
Humans are gonna kill each other. That's just the point of being a human.
All right, let's
And
get,
then-
let's get a little happier. Let's get a little happier and get to know our guests. Ben, welcome to the podcast.
Oh,
What do you
thank
think so far?
It's interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
It's exciting, right?
Yeah,
You're supposed to do
Get the
your homework,
juice.
but Terry ain't sent you the
I was
homework.
gonna say I didn't know what I was getting into today, but it was good. It was like kind of good on the spot, it got me thinking, it was good. I like it.
All right.
We like
Yeah.
to be
Help us
challenging.
relax, and you can just tell us about yourself.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
tell us when did you start comedy and how?
So, and I always talk about this in my comedy. About 3 years ago, I had a brain surgery. I actually had one when I was 16, and
Oh
then
wow.
yeah, and then I had a year, 20 years later. I started having seizures and all these things,
Jesus.
and my doctor at the time was like, "Oh yeah, you just have epilepsy," and I was like, "I'm gonna get a second opinion," and then I went to Mayo Clinic, and they're like, "Yeah, you have a brain tumor." So my doctor, this is an amazing story. Everyone at the Mayo, I went to the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, and everyone's like, "Man, your doctor's famous. I never met this guy, didn't know anything about him." And they're like, "You need to watch Netflix. He's on Netflix." And my doctor, Dr. Quinones, he was on this show called The Surgeon's Cut. And it's all about like the top surgeons in the country and stuff. And he was on the second episode, and it shows him doing a brain surgery, right? And this guy is one of the few surgeons that can operate on any type of brain tumor. Like some surgeons are delegated to certain ones. So he did a great job. And after that, I like after I recovered and I was kind of like back out, living life normally again. I went to a comedy show. I went and saw, can't remember who I saw, but I had such a good time, and I was like, I want to go to another one. And then I started looking at the calendar, and I saw the class. I saw Ramon's class. And I was like, and it was literally starting the next day, right? And I was like, you know what? Something I've always wanted to try, it's screw it. And then I kind of had that like, all right, you got through brain surgery, you got to start doing all those things you always wanted to do, start like, conquering the world and all that. So
Totally.
I went in, and it's funny. I remember I got to the door of the Improv, and I was like, I'm not doing this. And I was like, well, fuck it, I already paid. So I went in
That's
there,
right.
and
They cheap.
oh man, and I went in there and I made everyone laugh the first night, and it changed everything for me. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I
know
got
how you
that.
feel. I
Oh,
remember taking
man.
Ramon's class for the
What
first
a what a great thing that you got to, get that treatment from the Mayo Clinic. I'm a huge fan. 2017, I gave them $1,000 to be a benefactor. Both at St. Jude's, because I'm from Memphis and St. Jude's is in Memphis. I'm a big fan of them, and I'm a big fan of the Mayo Clinic and the work that they do. So I mean, I didn't know this before you came on here, but I'm a big fan of both of those organizations, and it's glad to hear that it's still doing the good work that they do. So
Yeah, and it's crazy because like when I had my first surgery, the tumor was even bigger, but no one like ever explained to me like, hey, you might you might get angry easily, or you might freak out at things and stuff like that. And like it's crazy because it grew back, and I didn't have that issue until it grew back, and I started having
personality changes is what you mean.
People would like rip on me and stuff sometimes, and I just couldn't take it because something was like triggering up here. So I remember another reason I wanted to take comedy was because I wanted to be able to laugh at myself and like,
True.
and and then the combination
have an outlet, get
like
some of
having
that stuff out of you.
Yeah, it changed everything for me. So it made life a lot easier, made me a lot more relaxed, but also helped me just laugh at myself. And
that's one of the best start stories I've ever heard. But
I'm telling you, out of all because my dad has a nonprofit, and I know how some of them work. Sometimes not even 15% of the money that you give actually makes it to where it needs to make it to. Breast cancer research is one of the biggest offenders, by the way. If you see the little pink ribbons and you give them some money, just know that only about 5 cents of every dollar is actually making it to where it needs to be. However, the Mayo Clinic and St. Jude's, 98%, 98 cents out of a dollar goes where it needs to, and that's to support research and support those families and those people in need.
On 2 cents out of a dollar, that's great business practice.
Exactly.
All right. What's become your favorite venue to perform at? And you cannot say
the Improvs. Too easy.
Well, you know,
No A
they
clubs, no A
started at the
clubs.
West Palm one and they closed it. They tore it down. It's gone. And
I
it's
know,
like,
you're breaking my heart.
never-
Did you know this? They closed it because I moved away. They were like, we don't,
Yeah.
there's no even reason to have it
It's
anymore.
done.
That was
There's no
Terry's
reason.
club, and he's
There-
gonna open it in.
But like my home club, that's where it started. I got no home club now.
So
You know what I
what's
mean?
your favorite
That's-
spot to do comedy? It could be an open mic. It could be
So-
where you've had shows.
All right. So, well, should I talk about mine or?
Where-
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
So,
promote
like,
your stuff, man.
all right. So I like, don't get me wrong. I like your mic. Your mic's fun too, because I used to live downtown. So anytime I go to O'Shea's, like I always run into people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I always like that.
That's what O'Shea's was made for, is bumping into folks.
Yeah, I seriously, I can't go there without seeing somebody I know. So that's, I gotta
Mhm.
always be like, I'll be there at the show.
Is that your
Yeah.
favorite venue?
I mean, yeah, it's up there. I mean,
Okay, well, which one are you gonna
That's
say?
a no.
So, all right. So and it's funny. All right. I'm going there and I'm actually going there on Tuesday. I actually got a follow-up at the Mayo Clinic on Wednesday. So Tuesday night, I'm going to this little place in Jacksonville called the Voussoir. And this place, it's a hole in the wall. It's one of the oldest bars in Jacksonville. And I went there last year for my last follow-up. And I don't know what it was about that place. I had a great set. The crowd was great. The host was amazing. And I don't know. I left there feeling so good. And then that next day I had my MRI. Everything came back clean. No problems and everything. And it's just like, that place just had like it was like a
vibes.
special moment
Like
for
good
me.
vibes.
Yeah.
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 Good for you
But,
too,
Say that
and
name
good
of the venue.
and good for
it's
you,
called the Voussoir. Yeah.
Voussoir.
VOO.
and good for you for the remission. Good for you.
And
Yeah.
like, yeah, and good vibes going. You said next week.
I'm going Tuesday actually. I'm gonna be there Tuesday night.
Good
Yeah.
vibes
So
Tuesday.
it's not like, and I can't go there, I can't play there all the time, but when I go, like that's right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to the Voussoir, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
is that your
Like,
first time doing? That was gonna be my next one.
that was
Have
my
you-
first out of the area like show.
Where have you traveled? Is it just Jacksonville, or have you gone?
So last summer I went to Colorado. And
Oh, and you did comedy.
I did comedy and I'm telling you, I loved it.
Colorado's great, man.
Because you
Wow.
know
Doing
what?
comedy in Colorado. So where were you? Were you in
I went
Boulder
right
or
down- so
Denver?
I stayed right outside Denver, and
Mhm.
this little town called Hilo, and I had this cheap little place for $100
Hilo.
a night. Yeah, and it was great. I was a mile from downtown Denver, and every night
Nice.
I went to a different place. So the first night, I went to this place. What was it called? It was some Irish. Oh, the Rover. I was number 40 in a list of 65 people. But it wasn't like what we do where like everyone gets 5 minutes where no, if you sucked, they gave you the light. It was like wrap it up. You got 30 seconds. No minute.
Wow,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
it
like
was-
it.
Waste the time. Don't waste the.
Well,
So-
everybody talks about Austin and how cool and eclectic and progressive it is, and how it's like become this comedy haven now.
Yeah.
Trust me, Denver is so much better at this.
So let me finish telling you about
They're the comedy epicenter right now.
so like the Rover. I go in there, I wait almost 2.5, 3 hours to get up. I finally go up and I freaking crushed it. I mean,
Nice.
I killed it. I mean, they were like laughing there, dude. They must have given me 6-7 minutes because I just kept going. They finally gave me the light. And then after I got off, like they were thanking me. They're like, "You're from Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you so
You know
much for
what, man?
coming to
I
our
think-
mic."
I think that's amazing, and I feel like South Florida, it's a hard scene, and
Mhm.
if you can make people laugh here, you can go out.
Yeah.
and
Oh.
make people laugh.
They-
South
yeah.
Florida is so
I got
much
invited-
harder to do comedy in than New York or LA or Austin or any other place.
I got invited to another show after doing that mic, which was really cool. And then I went after I got invited to the one, I left that one. I went to another one and I completely bombed. I did almost the same set, and it was like
It'd be like
Crickets.
this.
Different audiences, man. That's
Yeah.
the way it goes.
Yeah.
But Denver, I couldn't speak highly enough of Denver as far as not just a comedy scene, but as a cool, eclectic city with great food and great live entertainment. Like it's amazing. It's
I love
amazing.
Denver as a place. I've never done comedy there.
it's so
What were you gonna
fun.
say?
Oh, I was gonna say very easy to get around. There's scooters everywhere. It's very
Uber.
like pedestrian friendly. Like I didn't even rent a car. And
It's like San Francisco without all the bourgeois.
yeah,
You
All
know?
right.
and then I was gonna
Oh, go
say,
ahead.
can I mention one other place? So then I went to this
Go
place
ahead.
called Rise, and Rise is like in a basement, and they do and it was really cool. You pay like you give them $10, and then they kind of like how like a Kill Tony situation or something.
Mhm.
You do your set, and then they give you a little review, and then they put on a show afterwards. So I got to be in that
Nice.
open mic, and there was people from like
That must have been a cool experience.
Yeah.
and I went all by myself. I was like gonna go with people, and then this person, this and that. And I was like, I went and I made friends. I had a good time, and I actually had it was one of the best trips I ever took. It was great.
All right. So what has been your favorite or proudest moment doing comedy so far?
So just getting into comedy was for me because I had always limited myself. I was always like, oh, I could do comedy, but I just don't know how I would ever get in, or where do you even start with something like
Mhm.
that. And so just taking the class was like the first big step, getting on stage, but then like venturing out was
Yeah.
was like, wow, I actually do this. It wasn't like, oh, my friends are here to see me. It was just like, here's a group of strangers laughing at me.
Make them
Like,
laugh
what I mean?
now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was like I said, Jacksonville and
You
Colorado.
don't have one moment or proud moment that you're like, man, the night I did this wrong or
Oh, yeah. So,
somebody said X, Y, Z, whatever it is that made you proud while you were in.
oh, yeah. So actually, and it's funny because, and I don't mean to sound like conceited or anything, but I started my own open mic, and literally like a few weeks ago, I was walking my dog, and this guy who I'd never met before was like, "Hey man, that was a great show." I was like, "You were there?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, it was freaking awesome."
Wow.
Yeah, so that was
Do you
cool.
live near the Peach?
No, so well, I just moved to Boynton, but I used to live downtown, and that was kind of the thing because the Improv was downtown, right? And then I was living in a high rise, not like 6 blocks from there, and that was like a very proud thing for me because I would literally be out walking my dog, and people be like, "Hey, I saw you last night. You were so funny," and I would
Yeah.
just be like, I would just be, "Oh, thanks," and I'm walking off, and I'm like up here, you know what I mean? Like,
That is not
There's no arrogance in that, man. You
That
shouldn't
does
feel
not happen to me.
timid or
I'm
bad
sorry.
about that at all.
That's
We
it.
all remember the first time we got recognized on the street from
It has
doing a
not happened
show.
to me.
Well, Gio, what do you want me to tell you?
I mean, I
Get
know
out
big
more, I
guys,
guess.
probably a little more
But we all recognize the first time that somebody spotted us and was like, "Hey, don't I know you? Didn't I see you at a thing?" And then you go, "Well, I mean, if you go to comedy, maybe you saw me or whatever." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you're the guy. You're
Oh,
Fat Christian Bale. Yeah,
I
that's
cannot
right."
wait for
Or
that.
the best part is when they
I'll be
meet
like, I'm too
when
famous to
they
be out here on the streets. What if
I,
somebody
the best part is when they name you by one of your jokes. And I remember that was my first time. It was like, "Yeah, you're Fat Christian Bale." And it didn't even occur to me at the time that they just called me fat to my face. Um, but, but it was such a great moment because not only did they recognize me, but they named one of my jokes as why they remembered me. You shouldn't feel bad about that at all, Ben. That's one of the pure joys of doing this. It's why we put up with all the bullshit is for moments like that.
we do have a lot of joys in doing this, but what's been your biggest challenge doing comedy, Ben?
It's hard because it's just I get to a point where I like my set, and then I try to come up with new stuff, and then I do, and then it's like I revert back to my old stuff,
Mhm.
and I know it's a
So
process.
writing's your biggest challenge.
Yeah, because you know what? I get on a streak, and I'll write and I'll write and I'll have like, and I'll be like, I'll come up with all these great ideas, and then for like 3-4 weeks I'm just blank.
Yeah.
Or like, so that's
Almost like there's a block in the way of your writing.
yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have no
We
problem
all
doing
got
on
it, bud.
stage or anything like that. I love that feeling. But yeah, it's just like sometimes I just feel real challenged with the writing, and then but when it comes to me, it comes. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
comes in like
Well, that's
spurts.
when the good stuff comes when you let it happen naturally. When you try to force it, that's when you go, "Oh, your hacky shit out of the way." So don't force it. Just let it come.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, what's your day job, do you have
Yeah.
family or any projects?
Yeah, so I got a lot going on. So I'm originally from Chicago, and I started coming down here in the
That's a
90s.
good comedy area. in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh yeah.
That's a
A lot of
great comedy.
That's kind of what inspired me as a kid. I used to watch like Saturday Night. I used to like Chris Farley's from Chicago, and a
Yep.
lot of like there was a lot of good comedians out of Chicago, and that was kind of an inspiration of mine. But yeah, I moved here. Actually, I used to visit here. I had a rich aunt and uncle. I never had kids, so I was like the spoiled nephew, and I'd stay in their little
Mm.
condo in Palm Beach and everything. I'd come down here and I'd like sneak out and I'd go to the clubs. I used to go to Clematis Street when it was like there was a big punk scene there,
Mhm,
go to concerts and stuff. And I was like, I could get used to it down here. I like this.
mhm.
So about 13 years ago now, I was like, I'm gonna try it for 6 months. And that's kind of when the economy was tough. I was able to find a cheap rental. I was close to the beach. And after like 6 months, I was like, there's no way. I can't go back. I love it. So I work in retail and I sell mattresses and I talk about it in my comedy all the time. And
Well,
I just,
enjoy South Florida before climate change wrecks it all.
yeah,
So
that's what I'm trying to do, take advantage of all the rich people that are down here now. Got
that's
a good
right,
clientele.
exactly.
The numbers have gone up.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was kind of I always saw myself living in Florida, and it's funny because I always saw myself doing comedy, and it's like finally coming to now, and it's just an amazing thing. And now,
It's lovely when you start seeing stuff come into fruition that you've been
yeah,
wanting. Go
yeah.
ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was gonna say, and then
No,
now
it's like watching a child grow. Watching
yeah,
a joke take form is like watching a child.
I watch my old stuff, and it's funny because when I used to watch my old stuff, I was like, man, that is so good. I am amazing. I came up with the best stuff. Now I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even watch
I can't
myself.
watch more. Sorry.
I'm like, I can't even look at that
Me
anymore.
neither.
Oh, I force myself to watch it all the time.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I was gonna say I'm working. So I've been working with the Peach, and I started an open mic, and it's really didn't start with much. The Peach is kind of well, you've been there.
Yeah.
It's like an old garage that they converted into like an art studio, and there was like an old house, and it
Is this
wasn't
in Lake Worth?
No, this is in West Palm.
if you,
Okay.
Dane used to have a mic at the Peach, when
Mhm.
you were still in town. It's like, off Southern under the
Oh,
bridge.
yes. Yes, I've been there.
Okay, so
Yes.
that spot. So now they opened a Mexican restaurant there where that barbecue place used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's called El
Mhm.
Segundo, very good. Yeah, so we use that stage every Monday night. We're in there. We do 7 o'clock. We do a writer's room, and we try to we practice. We work on some jokes, do some things, try to come up with some stuff, and then from
Yeah.
8 until whenever, have an open mic, and everyone. And it's funny because lately I've been giving everyone like 6-7 minutes. You guys don't even realize it either.
It's
No.
So
the
I've been giving you guys extra.
bane of my existence is
Oh.
writers' rooms. It's like I die 1,000 deaths every time I have to do a show in front of only comics because
Oh.
Well,
it's
I
just
don't- I don't-
proud now.
I don't
torture.
know.
It's torture.
So,
Yeah.
to the writer's room?
Oh, well, we've been getting some extra people in the writers' room, but now we're getting actual.
Oh, I
people
think
from
he's
the
just talking
restaurant.
about the writer.
Oh,
the
just being in a writer's
Just a writer's room in
I understand.
general when you're trying to
The
do
writers'
stand up
rooms
in
we
front
have
of stand
now,
ups.
Terry, they have crowds like one of the comics. Oh, I need to get Big Pedro on the show. I'm glad I brought anyway, he does a writer's room at Kelly Brothers.
Mhm.
And there's a crowd that comes to watch. And
Well, then it's not a writer's room. That's a show. If there's a crowd, it's a
but I'll
show.
say this about rooms full of comics. I like rooms full of comics because I write new jokes all the time. And that's who I want to test my new jokes out on first, quite frankly. So.
No, I agree with that. And for most people, that's true. Well, Hurricanes, when I was coming up, was a big thing. Hurricanes in Boca. It was all comics, and you'd go up there and you try your new everything you're describing. And I hated it so much.
Yeah.
I loved going there and hanging out.
So
I loved hanging out and talking comedy and doing all that, but the performing aspect of it was terrible. And it's because I'm not a well-liked, person in general. So you have no goodwill coming from the audience at all. I'd rather have strangers, to be
All right.
honest.
So Ben, do you have any projects or podcasts, anything like that? you wanna
So-
talk about?
Yeah, so so now the Peach, which is owned by the Subculture Group, they own Respectable Street, and I'm going to
Yeah.
my first show. at that point. Yeah.
I hope you got a
Well,
good budget.
Yeah, we'll
getting
see.
in,
We're
getting
working out
in,
the details, but June 13th. Yeah.
Cool.
getting in good with subculture is probably the best move you've made so far. They can provide you with a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, they've been great. I mean, yeah,
I did a show for Voltaire, and that's under their flag
That's
for a while.
right.
That's how
we
that's
we
how
met.
that's
That's how we
how
met.
that's how
Oh, really?
Gio and I
Oh, cool.
met. I
You
booked
booked Gio.
Gio at our Voltaire show, and that's how we met. So
Right. Okay.
All right. So very good. Any other projects before we play the blame game?
So yeah, I do. I am. All right. Well, let me start. I got the open mic. I got the show coming up, and then, I mean, I haven't started anything yet. I've got like a domain and an idea and everything, but I want to start my own podcast actually.
Good.
But I want, yeah, and it would be like, kind of maybe like a Palm Beach thing.
Yeah.
That would like kind of have people from the area. You know
This
what I
is
mean?
what I suggest.
hey,
Podcast.
just you don't have to start a podcast. Just start. Just do
That's what I was
it.
just gonna do. If Terry wouldn't have interrupted me, I was gonna say the same goddamn thing.
That's
And I've been
right.
doing
Well,
it
too
longer than
bad.
Terry. But let me just say this. I've been doing this for probably since 2008 or 9.
Oh wow.
Not this podcast, but
Mhm.
a version of Blame Girl
Yeah, yeah,
podcast. Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it, and then you'll know what you'll figure out what you're doing, and it'll be like tonight. Like
Mhm.
Terry was
I've been
late on
doing-
getting us to show prep, guys, and I could just still do the podcast, even though I didn't get a chance to read everything and prepare.
I thought 4 hours was long enough for you guys to read a couple of articles.
Sunday to hang out and go to the
Yeah.
beach. I'm in
I'm
Florida.
the one that had to do it. I didn't even find out when we were doing this
Oh,
till this
really,
morning.
Terry? 'Cause I did it for like 3 years. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, I do 2 podcasts a week for the last 4 years. It's easy. Just go for it. Just doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you end. So
All right. All right. It's time for the blame game. Ben,
Yes.
you started a mic when you were a brand new comic. Who's to blame?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you. This is how it went down, right?
Mhm.
Me, her, and you know, Eric Rapp and Bobby
Yeah.
Hill and those guys. Yeah, so we were on the same class.
I remember y'all's class. I
Yeah.
remember hosting y'all's
Yeah.
class once
Yeah.
when Ramon had me come and do
Mhm.
like when y'all were getting ready for the big night. But go ahead.
So
Chef Rachel.
Chef Rachel and I were like friends, we were cool. And so like one day we like met up at Bodega, right?
Chef
And-
Rachel, just so you know, is on Below Deck or was on Below Deck.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, this would be a great spot for an open mic because upstairs they got
Mhm.
this room and everything.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, cool. I'll talk to their people and da. So then it was like a go. So then, like, you know, I was helping out, doing what I could. And, you know, next thing you know, one day she's like, I got all my own equipment. And I was like, all right. And next thing you know, I'm out. I'm not part of the show. I'm not part of anything. And yeah. And so like, so then, you know, she wants, I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if maybe I was like, you know, if she thought I was stealing her spotlight or something. I don't know what it was, but then next thing you know, you know, I don't go for a while, and then I see Bobby at when they did the improv at that Brass Tap place or at the brewery or the
Oh,
distillery.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Copper
there.
Blues.
yeah. So he's like, hey, how you been?
No, not Copper Blues. It was after the improv was knocked out, right?
Yeah. It was
This
this
was
was
on a
like
show.
this was like a remote thing that we
Yeah.
did. So then
Okay.
I run into Bobby and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I'm like, whatever happened to Rachel? And he's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, whatever happened with that? I thought, you know, it was our deal. And he was like, well, man, you were stalking her. And I was like, excuse me? Like, no,
Oh wow.
nah, she's not my type. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
weird, but we were like cool. We were friends. I don't know what the problem was.
Yeah,
It was
y'all are in
weird.
the same class.
So then, right?
Maybe she's weird about that because she's a reality star.
Who knows? I don't think she's a star. But no, and so then
That's going a bit far to say star. You know,
so then
she's
I
not
went,
Kim
I went to
Kardashian.
an open mic, and this was my joke. I said, Rachel, I knew you'd have no problem getting into comedy because when your cooking's a joke, you'd have no problem being funny.
Ooh. Oh, that hurts me. That cuts me to the bone as a professional cook. That just hurts.
That why she's not doing comedy?
I don't know, man. So then So then
Oof.
I went back
Brutal.
another time, like weeks later. This was after Colorado. And so then I'm like, I'm waiting to go up. I'm waiting to go up. I'm there from 7 o'clock. It's almost 11. I still don't go up. I'm like, what the hell? And then I see Eric and I'm like, dude, what's the problem? He goes, oh, well, Rachel said you were stalking her. And I'm just like, where does this whole stalking thing come from, dude? Like, it's messed up. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'll start my own open mic.
I thought it was like a
So-
positive way. You were like, well, she doesn't know what she's
Nope.
doing. We
No,
started
no,
with
no.
Ben's out here spilling tea.
it was like,
This is
dude,
what it is.
like, I helped get this whole thing going. So then I said, so she started comedy rehab. I started comedy relapse.
Oh,
And then-
that makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Way to go.
I
Way
had
to
the
go.
Instagram, I got the website, I got the Facebook, I got it all. And so I took that and a friend of mine, knew someone at the Peach, knew Craig at the Peach, and we set that up and we just
And look
started
at
doing
you
our
tied
thing.
in with Soul Coach
And
now.
now, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
for
funny.
you.
I blame her, but I kind of want to thank her too because
Yeah.
I would have never gotten this point. But
I
yeah,
mean, I'm
so-
not just gonna take your side in this. We've had her on the show. She, was a good guest. I'm not gonna just automatically take your side. I'd like to
You
hear
haven't
her
had her on
side,
the
but
show.
huh?
You had her on the show.
Pretty sure we have, but whatever. It's fine.
No,
not
and
the
it was
point.
like- it was
The
weird.
point is, good for you though. Good for you. Go out. If it was an inspiration for you to go out and do your own thing, then it's a net positive. Good for you.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had her on the show.
Okay. Does it
I'm pretty sure-
matter?
It does matter because I feel like if she
Yes, I'm
if
pretty
she
sure
was
we
on
had
the
her on.
show, one of my besties from Houston loves her, right? She would have
Mhm.
been like so excited. We haven't had her on the show, but we would have.
I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure we talked about the
Fine,
below deck
might have
thing,
her on the
but
show.
whatever.
Choosing sides.
All right.
Dude,
All
I
right,
mean,
fine.
all-
fine.
The tea, like.
dude, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
then if we haven't had her on the show, let's get her on the show so she can tell her side of the
She started
story.
Yeah.
doing
With
comedy,
this stu-
yeah,
Dude,
with
like,
Stalker
what-
Ben
and I
here.
don't know, like, it was-
Stalker Ben.
I told her, I was like, like one time I was sincerely like, I was like, hey, like you inspire me, like, you do your thing on, you're on social media, you're on TV, I was like, that's like, and she's like, oh yeah, cool, and we're friends and everything, and like it was nothing ever like, we were just like classmates and stuff. It was cool, and then I don't know, so I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But at the end of the day, I don't.
But
even
it's
think
like
about
with
it like that.
comedy,
It's like-
some people come in and out, So
Exactly.
if she's
It's
not
Open
in
to
right now,
interpretation.
what, like
I know
said,
she's cruising, but
Yeah.
maybe she'll come back when she's not cruising. Like I mean, I hope she comes back. But the thing about comedy is like you have to constantly go up to get better. And I don't think sometimes I think when you start a new open mic
Mhm.
and you're new, it keeps you from going to open mics and trying new stuff.
Yeah,
And I think-
and I'm guilty of that. I
Yeah.
keep getting myself out there.
All
for
right.
sure.
I hate to rush us. I have to get to the show here by 8:30, but do you have anything upcoming that you want to promote?
Well, every Monday at the Peach, 8 o'clock. Like I said, we do the show 7 o'clock. You can come early for the, if you want, if you want to write, if you need help with jokes or some feedback or anything like that. There's a Mexican restaurant there with $5 margaritas. I'll have a show coming
Nice.
up. Talk more about it on the 13th of June.
Mhm.
I have some information on that. And
How can people follow you?
go to Comedy Relapse. That's the open mic on Instagram, and then my Instagram is Palm Beached with a little underscore in between beached. And,
Palm Beach with
yeah.
the underscore. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I feel like I was beached here in Palm Beach.
No, I saw your handle. It's very clever. Very good that you got
Thank you.
that one.
All right. I guess then it is time for Terry Wayne's words for white people. Ben,
Mhm.
you've got to listen to the
Oh,
words.
that's right, honkies. We're here. We're coming straight at you again, my fellow crackers. I had a hard time adjusting. I'm a city guy. I'm always been a city guy. Was born and raised Memphis, big city. Came to South Florida, big city, lived in Boston, big city, lived in Frankfurt, big city guy. And coming to a little town of less than 40,000 people in Middle Tennessee, an hour outside of Nashville, it was a big change. And I went through a lot of things that I didn't think I would, a lot of emotions, a lot of depression for 6 months. And it got me thinking, and it got me thinking about the essence of hope. Uh, and so this week, the words for you crackers is cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. Like the movie, not the thing. Like not the Friends finale or this, not a cliffhanger in that sense. It's more of a cliffhanger like the movie from the 90s, the Sylvester Stallone movie. Um, I always remember that movie because I saw it when I was very young. I was in my early teens, and I saw it. And there's a scene in the beginning of it that's very traumatic, where a woman's trying to be rescued, and they're hanging on by their fingertips, and it's not a happy moment. She ends up falling, and that fall was very traumatic for me. I had nightmares about it for years after that. It really stuck with me. And here's the thing, it's a shit movie. Like it's not good. It's like one of those guilty pleasure movies you watch on a Sunday afternoon by yourself, you know. But it stuck with me for a long, long time. And then when I was here, I saw it again. It came up. It was like one of those free movies on YouTube you could watch. And I watched it again, and it wasn't so scary now as an adult. And it wasn't because the movie had changed. It was because I had changed. I had changed and lived a life and grown and, you know, become something different. And so I watched it with no anxiety whatsoever. And I thought about that this weekend as I learned that I'm going to be having a son, you know, which is very scary to me. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've accomplished a lot of things in my life that I'm very proud of. But this is the one that has terrified me the most since I've been an adult person. Um, but just like in Cliffhanger, it doesn't have to be scary. Sometimes you just have to jump and know that you're going to be okay. Know that you've learned, that you've grown, that you're capable. You're not going to mess this up, and you're going to do well. And that is the essence of hope. Okay. So when you're on the cliff, just know that you can let go and it's going to be okay because you can fly. And I think you know that.
Hey, you're gonna be a good dad, Terry. Don't worry.
Thanks.
I believe that. I really do. Even if it like outside of just feeding the kid, because we know you can cook, but
Yeah.
you'll still be
I've
there.
already started making baby food. I'm making my own baby food.
Just don't call him the F word ever or the N word, and you'll be
The
good.
N word. Yes, I'm just gonna call it the N word forever.
The F and N word.
That's it's so funny that she guessed it. That's his middle name.
I'm gonna stop. All right, Terry,
Okay.
you got anything coming up?
Nope. I am working on the new book. You can buy the current book on Amazon right now. It's Unclaimed Ashes. Get your copy while there's still plenty. And I'm working on the new book. I'm really, really excited about it. A lot of characters, a lot of real world, very relatable things, very relatable people. I'm so excited about it. It's the best thing I've ever written by far.
I'm excited for you. And you
So
got the other
look
podcast.
for that next year.
And you got the other podcast, right?
The other podcast is called The Worst Ones. It's 4 preachers' kids telling their stories about growing up in the church and what it's like and faith and religion, the real world. And it's a whole journey.
Right. And then I am at Red Light in about an hour in West Palm, and I'm the new host. You're looking at the new host of Trivia Night Wednesday night at O'Shea's.
Ooh.
Gio gonna go see some titties. Not
Yeah.
at O'Shea's, but tonight.
No, I'm not gonna
some
go see
titties.
tonight. It's got to be like an occasion. I just
They're
usually
right
go-
there in the window at Red Light. What are you talking about?
I don't look. I don't care. Like I'm worried about writing my set.
Well, take Ben, and Ben look for you.
I am taking Ben. You're gonna come, right?
See, okay. Go get a lap dance, Ben. It's for you.
Well, until then, guys, y'all keep blaming, and we'll see you next week.
All
It's
right.
back
Thanks
to
for having
space
me on.
with me.
Appreciate it.